My name is Alex, and welcome to my TED Talk on Big Data Analytics and Government Relations. In a recent McKinsey global survey, half of the executive questions said that governments and regulators will be among the stakeholders with the largest economic impact on their companies over the next 3 to 5 years, and an even larger percentage expect governments and regulators' involvement in their industries to increase during the same period. Due to the increasing amount of companies wanting to collaborate with policymakers in recent years, government relations teams have been rethinking the way in which they campaign on behalf of the organizations and companies they represent. The answer: big data. Big data can bring about dramatic cost reductions and substantially reduce the amount of time required to perform computing tasks, but analytics is what leads to more accurate predictions, better decision-making, and immediate crisis management when needed. Analytics focuses on human translations and decisions based on new information provided by the accumulation of big data. Big data can be messy, so the ability to properly analyze the data is an imperative tool in utilizing it beneficially. Government relations teams have identified the profound potential of predictive analytics to reshape its government strategies, making big data government relations' upcoming best practice. Big data in public affairs can provide valuable competitive distinction by identifying who might be the best legislator to target and who might be the most likely to sponsor a bill. It can also give insight on a lawmaker a company has never worked with before, including his or her historical voting patterns, and even predict the likelihood of a bill to pass if it gets a floor vote. Big data makes sifting through thousands of bills, engaging with critical lawmakers, and tracking legislation as easy as clicking a button. Through utilizing big data systems, a traditional government relations team can now build itself into an efficient lobbying powerhouse. One example of how big data can be utilized by public relations teams is DentaQuest. DentaQuest is an oral health leader and the largest Medicaid and CHIP dental benefits administrator with more than 23 million members across the United States. The company's government relations team is responsible for monitoring policies that may impact its operations, its members, and its overall business strategy. In 2017, DentaQuest's government relations team identified 3 problems the company needed to overcome in order to continue benefiting. The first was increasing difficulty in monitoring and managing the volume of healthcare legislation and regulations that affected the company's operations. The second was the difficulty in keeping track of each team member's internal knowledge of issues and who had existing relationships with what lawmakers. The final problem was the need for a systemic way to identify growth opportunities for the company. In order to address these problems, the company needed to first uncover what was causing them. DentaQuest was using a manual process to retrieve its significant data, which was not only time-consuming, but also frequently out of date because there wasn't enough time or human resources available to analyze it fast enough. The team was also using multiple databases, spreadsheets, and emails to disseminate information, which limited the effectiveness of communication and overall strategy. DentaQuest also needed to expand and acquire the technology that would allow the company to continuously find new opportunities in new states. DentaQuest launched several programs, all relying heavily on big data systems in order to solve the issues addressed above. To resolve volume challenges, the government relations team created alerts to monitor payment processing legislations, one of the company's biggest issues. This eliminated the need to track multiple websites with old information and allowed more time to be focused on strategy planning. DentaQuest is also now able to store their internal knowledge and legislative feedback in one central database, which all employees have access to. This database also systemically monitors changes in Medicaid and CHIP programs and analyzes the information to filter out anything that might offer opportunities for business growth. DentaQuest's government relations team addressed the challenges within their government strategy by using big data and analytical techniques in order to improve its efficiency and effectiveness in monitoring legislation and capitalizing on business growth opportunities. Since implementing a data analytics system, the company has already targeted key influencers within government to lobby for healthcare reform, as well as kept up with the high volume and velocity of government news regarding new legislations and regulations that will affect future business operations, allowing the company to plan accordingly. Since Obama's campaign in 2012, big data is on the rise within government practices. The main skills government relations firms seek in future employees are the ability to manage and process large amounts of unstructured data, the ability to analyze data into impactful visions for future operations, and the ability to interpret data in ways that lead to better decision-making. Through recent case studies and a vast amount of research, it is evident that companies who utilize big data are more successful in their government relations strategies, as well as in their overall business operations. Thank you so much for listening to my TED Talk. I hope you enjoyed it.